right, and we're back. This is episode 156 of the Taproom Podcast, and I'm your host, Mike. 3-year anniversary, baby. Pretty wild stuff. Pretty wild. I know I was out of control. I'm kidding. But this episode is with the 3rd anniversary episode, and it was going to be none other than Mike Crea of Unsung. And I wouldn't have it any other way. And he is I love Mike. He's just a great guy, and I've talked about it before. Like, he gave me my start. Like, I had reached out to breweries, and he was the first one I ever reached out to. But then I reached out to others at the same time, just trying to get like somebody to say yes. And Mike said yeah right away, and it was kind of, honestly, it was just I was so green, and I didn't know what questions to ask, man. Even now, the questions have just kind of evolved over time, but I feel like if you go back and listen to all 4 of those episodes, they're different. And you can see, you probably hear how novice I was back then. And even then, still, even on the technical side, I don't know shit. I do this because I love to hear people's stories. And I love craft beer. And it's because of that love that, this came, right? And then also because of my brother Jake. So, yeah, I'm really excited for you guys to listen, to hear this one. One of my favorite, and it's going to be, by the time you listen to this, you'll probably already see in the story, but, I post the story saying, hey, Taproom Podcast, blah, blah, blah. And then it's me and the guest, and then them, the captions. The story that I'm using for Mike, man, it just hit me. And I was actually texting with him because I'm recording this on a Saturday because I'm be in Georgia tomorrow. And I texted him, I was like, man, because he's saying he appreciated me. And I was like, dude, I appreciate you, man. You gave me my start. And it was just, just really meaningful to me, And I told him that, if it wasn't for him, I'm not to say that I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have kept going and doing stuff like that. But it was just, it meant so much that he actually said yes, because I had always loved Unsung. So I thought that was man, I got Unsung on episode 1. And then after that, it was all right, now who do I get next? Or who can I try to get next? Or who's going to say yes? And stuff like that. So just a little walk down memory lane there, eh? Take off, eh? But yeah, the NFL playoffs going on. Well, not the NFL playoffs, sorry, the Super Bowl next week. Can you believe that? But yeah, we got that going next week, and I'll be in Georgia tomorrow, Phoenix next week. So I'll be at my cousin's. We're going to be making wings. We're going to be making ribs. I'm going to be making mac and cheese. We're probably going to do sliders. We're going to do a bunch of stuff. We're going to be cooking all weekend, basically. But yeah, I'm super stoked. Super stoked to get out there. Super stoked for the Super Bowl. It's the rematch between the Patriots and the Seahawks. So that's going to be good. Excited to watch that game and obviously to bet on it. Got to play some props and all that good stuff. But yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm really stoked for it. So that'll be a good time. I'm also, I think I mentioned before, I'm recording at Homeland, a brewery out there. Well, they do contract brewing, but they have, they make, Jen was my cousin who set it up. So they have great stuff there. So I'm excited to hear the guy's story, man. It's all about, their journey and all that. So super stoked. Man, and some sad news. 5x5, the veteran-owned brewery out in McAllen, Texas, announced that they are going out of business. And that one hurt me because I had just been there. I'd been there back in August and had a beer there, talked to some of the guys, and it was cool. And, always just kind of the state of the industry right now, I guess. But yeah, man, it's always sad to hear stuff like that. Let's see. So before we jump into the episode, I wanted to read something. So there's a movie, there's a book called The Tender Bar. And there's a movie about it as well. They made a movie with Ben Affleck, Ty Sheridan from Ready Player One and stuff like that. But I had asked, we did it because with my family, we do Secret Santa each year for Christmas. And I asked for because I love the movie, fucking love the movie. And so it's on Prime if anybody listening can watch it, if you have Prime. Or you can just rent it on it, whatever. Not the point. But I asked for the book because, obviously the book's always better right? And as great as the movie was, I just finished the book recently because I've been so fucking busy. And in the very beginning, in the prologue, actually, there's a paragraph in there, and I'm going to read that. And it just, I mean, I'll just let it speak for itself. Hopefully I don't fucking fumble this, because knowing me, I will. But, you know, it says, we went there for everything we needed. We went there when thirsty, of course, when hungry, and when dead tired. We went there when happy, to celebrate, and when sad, to sulk. We went there after weddings and funerals, for something to settle our nerves, and always for a shot of courage just before. We went there when we didn't know what we needed, hoping someone or something might tell us. We went there when looking for love or sex or trouble, or for someone who had gone missing. Because sooner or later, everyone turned up there. Most of all, we went there when we needed to be found. And yeah, that's that paragraph. And when I read that, it just, obviously, there's certain parts of it are, but like that part hit me. And it made me just like when I think of craft beer, and I know there's sometimes that people don't understand what a craft brewery is. They don't get, they think it's, people are going there to get drunk. Yeah, of course, there's going to be some people that do that. But craft breweries, it's you go there to enjoy someone's hard fucking work, and you get to go there with your buddies, and you go there to celebrate stuff, and you go there just like it says in the paragraph. So that part just really hit me, and I thought it would be cool to read that in the beginning on the intro. So yeah, I thought that was really cool, and it's honestly a phenomenal book. Like if you get a chance to, watch the movie or read the book or anything like that, I would say watch the movie, read the book, do everything. But it's fucking so good, dude. I just think it's just really cool. Can't say enough good things about it. So. All right, so let's jump into the episode. But before we do that, before we jump in, I want to say, if you've ever thought about starting a podcast, or you've ever, thought about anything like that, and you're not really sure where to start, I want to give a quick shout out to Podbean. That's the platform that I use to host the Taproom Podcast. They, because they've made it so easy. Like when it comes to hosting, or even analytics, and I just got the other day I was telling Luis yesterday, and I was like, man, I just got so many downloads in Hong Kong. I don't know, because I'd never been downloaded there, but I don't know. Maybe it was a 3-year anniversary reel or something like that. But also Podbean, it'll show me all of that. It gives me all that information. So, and they give you all the tools to grow your audience. It's and plus, if you did want to sign up, you can get 1 month free when using my link. It's podbean.com/taproompod. Again, that's podbean.com/taproompod. Check it out, and you can start your own show and support the show at the same time. All right, so let's jump into the episode with Mike. I hope you guys enjoy it. Stay tuned for the outro. All right, guys, we're back in the tap room, and I'm your host, Mike. And I have a very special guest on the show today. It's third time on the show for the 3rd-year anniversary of the show. Mike Crea, Unsung Brewing. What's up, brother?
How you doing, man? Good to see you again.
Good to see you too, man. I'm glad we get to do this every year.
Yeah, it's almost like a, it's a nice annual jumpstart for us in terms of doing the podcast, and then kind of it gets me juiced up for the year and gets my mindset right. So I do appreciate it.
Oh, of course, brother. And you poured me a beer. I'm having, was it called D's Hops?
D's Hops, yeah.
And it says the Incubator Series?
This is on the Incubator, yeah.
Okay.
It's a 100% Idaho grown malt. So with some of the stuff that's been going on with tariffs, we normally get a lot of our grain from Europe, Canada, and all that sort of thing. We started to look a little bit more local, national.
Yeah.
And so we found one that had a really, really low lava bond that we like, grown in Idaho. And so, instead of making kind of our forte, instead of making a giant batch of it, we decided to come up here and do this. And it really worked well. What we're mainly looking for is not a lot of malt, and we want the hops to kind of pop, hit you, smack you in the face.
Oh, yeah.
Some of that oil comes out with all that carbonation. So,
dude, that's good.
Thanks, man.
That's very good.
Mosaic Nelson, handpicked Nelson that we get from Freestyle. So,
okay. I love it.
Thanks, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So, I know it's been a year, but what's the last year been like for you, man?
Kind of similar. I was thinking about our talk today. It's very similar to our last talk where like so much happened since we chatted. And I feel the same thing as well in terms of like our growth, opening up my eyes in terms of new avenues and new ways to brew and new things for people to try out there.
Yeah.
As well as, you know, I'm at a point in my life where my wife and I decided to go do a lot of traveling.
Yeah.
And so, you know, last time I talked to you, we were in Scotland. We went back there again and went to some of my favorite pubs in Edinburgh. Went to Japan, went to Taiwan, and just, you know, as I mentioned last time on the podcast, just experiencing another culture,
of course,
and passion around beer.
Oh yeah,
is interesting, especially from a Japanese perspective, where everything is very, very deliberate. There's a lot of pride. You know, these are places where they really, really take exceptional care of the beer that's coming out of the faucets. You know, and so you appreciate that because you understand what an overhaul and what a giant animal that is to do on a consistent basis. So
yeah, and like, what were the breweries like out there? Like, did you have any favorite ones when you're out there?
Yeah, I mean, I typically go macro when I go to the big places, just because I don't get to try that.
That's true. Yeah,
what I drink here, God only knows where it's brewed and where it comes from and everything. Yeah. But you know, in Japan, Asahi is king, which is kind of cool because I always enjoyed that beer. You see Kirin and Sapporo a little bit, but the Asahi that they brew there, that is served there, it's exceptional.
I bet
it's so, and you know, it goes so well with the food that they eat.
Yeah,
ramen, sushi, fried tempura stuff. It's such a great food pairing and super underrated in my opinion.
Yeah,
I did go to some smaller craft breweries over there, and I was shocked. I was impressed with.
That's awesome.
You know, I think the entire world's, you know, getting good product.
Yeah,
like we are in terms of hops and stuff, and they're utilizing them in a very good way. The difference is, at least for me when I was over there in Japan, is you don't see anything really over 6%.
Okay, maybe so it's on the lighter side.
Yeah, so you're looking at a lot of sessionable hazies, sessionable IPAs, a lot of fruited stuff for sure. And so that was kind of a nice change because it gave me the ability to try a lot of different things and not, you know, be a drunk American.
I gotcha. So. But I always find it like, because anytime I go somewhere, if I'm traveling, because I'm traveling for work and stuff, I'm always trying to record at different breweries in different states. But I'm always like, the first thing I always ask them is like, what styles consume the most here? So I'm always curious, like, what do you feel like it was in Japan? When you said it was like the sessions or
like on the lighter side? People like hops over there.
Okay.
I really was. You know, I think these are old world countries, and the brewing that they've done for so many years is so ingrained in their culture and in their traditions. So, I mean, obviously, rice lager's king. But, you know, I noticed this when I was in Germany too. There's a crossover of people trying new things as well, and being accepting of them.
Yeah,
it's just a little slower than here, where we can jump on a new style or a new trend or a new beverage fairly quickly, and maybe it fizzles out or it has staying power. Over there, they kind of dip their toe in stuff and then try and, you know, go the long game with it.
Okay.
So
I like that.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like a little pilot for them. Like they can throw something at the wall, see if it sticks, kind of thing.
Yeah. It's not like you're seeing mass marketing for, you know, a new style. And you're not getting like a marketing push of like ramming it down your throat. This where I think over there that's kind of frowned upon. It's more like, you know, I'm going to make my own decisions and get there easier. And so if there's no hype behind something, you know, people are a little bit more, they have, you know, their guards down. They have a little bit more ability to be somewhat accepting, or, hey, maybe this isn't too bad.
Yeah.
So
love it.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. I mean, I know you've had a crazy busy year, especially at the competitions. We're winning at CBC, WBC, and GABF. That's awesome. Congrats, man.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, I don't know if anyone, well, that's not true. I was going to say, I don't know if anyone goes into it knowing that they're going to win.
Yeah.
We surely didn't. So for the World Beer Cup, it was silver and hoppy pills, and then silver and Franconian style, which was our red lager.
Yeah.
And so we liked both of those beers a lot.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. We thought that they were really, really good, but you never know what's going to be on the table. And then of course, judging with World Beer Cup is different. There's a lot more judges from other countries than they have for GABF.
Yeah.
So there's a huge unknown and a huge uncertainty. And so then we're like, well, shit, we won in 2 lager categories, and that's an old world style beer.
Yeah.
And you're getting some other judges that are judging it, but they're also like a little bit newer aged. One's an Italian red lager, one's a hoppy pill. So you're also curious, how are they judging it? Are they looking at it? And for the most part, people will read the beer guideline and style guidelines and match up as appropriately as possible. But I think we're trying to put a beer on table that's going to be tasting great.
Yeah.
And then hopefully that gets us into the later rounds where there's actual discussions. So yeah, that we didn't expect that one, let alone 1, let alone 2. It was our first time at World Beer Cup, and my crew said, they made a joke. They said, "So you're retiring, right?" Because I always said, because we've been chasing a World Beer Cup for a while.
Yeah.
And we never got one. And so I always said, I go, fuck, if we get one, then I'm fine. I'm content. I'm done.
Yeah.
But so, of course, once you get one, you're like, well, let's do it again.
Yeah, you want another one.
Yeah. So, but, and I also think that with so many breweries closing around the world as well, that competition's getting a little more tighter and fierce and stuff. And so I think it's just going to be harder and harder to do those types of things.
Yeah.
So I try to tell our team that like, hey, this doesn't get easier. It's not like we've just hit a milestone and therefore we're going to always be doing medal winning beers or whatever. I'm like, it's just going to get harder and harder and harder.
Yeah.
So that was that. And then of course, GABF, we had, there was one, this is a perfect example. We had beers that we really, really enjoyed that we were kind of pinning our hopes on some of them. And then, westbound and down, I got to meet the owner and chat with him. I was actually at a judging table with him. And so
that's awesome.
Being in the audience and watching what they did was the craziest thing I've ever seen. And if you try to put odds on something like that, it's not possible.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of their beer. I think that their team is incredibly gifted and they make really, 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 really good beers. And so for them to take all those medals was just like, I think that I was more caught up in that of being amazed.
Yeah.
I kind of forgot about, we have some beers in these categories.
Yeah.
And then I was kind of like, well, shit, man, there's no way we're getting anything through. It looks like Westbound brought a game on every category. So we weren't expecting it. And it was one of those smack in the, like a 2x4 smack in the forehead when it happened. I was happy. My wife was with me. It was a really good moment to be there with my wife because and when we were done, I had to ask, I kind of blacked out. I was like, what happened?
Where am I?
What did we do? And she was like, well, you ran. I don't know where I ran somewhere.
Booked it.
Our assistant brewer, Jonathan, was like screaming. And then our head brewer, Taryn, was just kind of like, I think he went pale white, my wife said. And she was like, get the fuck up there. Like, go. And he was like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
So it was a good feeling. I was proud of my team. I think that we've come a long way in growth in terms of process. When you're in the brewery, it's all about your process and how often are you doing that process consistently. And then if you're changing that process, you're changing it to make the beer better, but are you changing the right process? That is running a brewery.
Yeah.
1.0. That's what those are the discussions we have on a consistent basis. It's not like this beer won gold. We can do this over and over and over again, the same thing. And I think that'll get you a couple of years in, but then this industry changes so much. if you're not trying to make a better beer that you want a gold in, then I don't know how that works out,
Yeah.
or how the mindset goes.
Yeah, you have to constantly evolve, like in this industry, because you said there's always something new. Like, what was the other brewery that won a bunch? It was like Up Liquids, I think it was called, was another one.
Yeah.
That won like a crazy amount of medals.
Yeah.
And stuff like that
in
too.
very obscure categories too, which is another very impressive thing.
Yeah.
It's not like, hey, we're doing all hoppy stuff. Like we're proficient in a lot of areas.
Yeah.
That's really, really, really impressive.
Yeah, because you won for like, I know, was that like Lumino was one of them, the Pickler, and then was it like Chaos Erupts,
Chaos
Super
won
Smash?
twice, which is weird.
That's awesome.
Yeah. The funny story about that beer is there was a period of time, this is getting into the weeds, but
yeah, you're good.
So we won it, I don't know what it was, a year or two ago for silver. And we were like, okay, sweet. We can't wait to make this beer or whatever.
Yeah.
I think we made 4 or 5 versions of it. And I think we dumped 3 or 4 of the versions.
Wow.
Because we were having a melon issue where we've figured it out.
Yeah.
It takes a nice year, but the beer wasn't good. And so we didn't want to put that out when we started to figure out the problem, because you can only do it by trial and error. That was around the 4th or 5th time we made the batch, and it was starting to get better. But we were lost. We had no idea. We're like, I don't understand. We made, this is kind of the thing I'm talking about. Like we made a medal winning beer and we couldn't make it again. And I wasn't going to put something out there so people open it up and go, oh, this is a medal winning beer. It's mid, it's fine, And so are those expensive decisions? Sure. But, like idiots, we doubled down and we're like, well, we made another one and it was good. And so we said, we'll send that one in. So now we're hoping that we can make that without any flaws in it. But that was one of the hardest things for us to go through and figure out.
Yeah.
Because
it's wild.
You make a beer that supposedly is a good fucking beer, and then you can't fucking do it again.
Yeah. Trying to replicate it.
And so that's where we stress over it. And Taryn has evolved a lot. He's a lot like me, where he goes home and he's mentally working, thinking about it. He'll come in the next day and he'll say, well, here's what I was thinking. And I say, oh, I was thinking this. And we kind of put it down on paper and look at it again. And we say, okay, we'll try to fix this or rectify this or change this. Hey, by the way, do we think about, what about, our pH at this certain time during fermentation?
Yeah.
Like, no, I didn't think about that. Okay. So it's got to be a collaborative effort, which is why I'm trying to explain to you, like, you see breweries all over the place, and there is typically a figurehead in each brewery that is the spokesperson, everything. But
yeah, of course.
Make no mistake, it is a collaborative experience.
Oh, of course, yeah.
We can't do what we do without everyone, so.
Oh, yeah. And speaking of collabs, so like being a collaborative effort, like I'm so glad that you got to connect with Luis over at Level Up and do that. You guys did the Saison?
The Saison.
Yeah.
Saison Prime.
Yeah, it was he's all, we're going to make it funky. I remember when he told me when you guys first got together.
Yeah. What's infectious about him is his passion.
Oh, yeah.
It comes out the second you meet him. And he just wants to make good fucking beer.
Yeah.
That's all he cares about. And so, I don't know. I'm trying to remember how we tossed a couple different ideas of what to brew, and I think we stayed on the French Saison topic because the original plan was we were going to use fresh guava, which can be kind of a painstaking process. But on the we did the clap on the 3 barrels, so we were like, okay, we can put that labor in and make it and use fresh, and then we ended up brewing it a little too early, and we were just like, let's just go get some pink guava puree, and we ended up using that for it. So we were. I love doing collabs because I see a lot of us sometimes in collabs, and then I see things that we want to be, that we're not, from all walks of life, and so, and then the industry to its core is a collaborative industry,
100%,
and knowledge is king, and so, we were. At year 1, year 2, year 3 at one point too.
Yeah.
And there were breweries that shared valuable knowledge with us, and we want to do the same, as well as see if we can learn something back.
100%, man.
And so I think that, collabs today have kind of gotten a little bit lost in that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's what this industry is in its core.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's what it always should be, coming together and learning from one another.
Right.
You know, because like one brewery may like approach a style a certain way, and you may approach a certain style a certain way. And when you come together, you're like, oh, maybe I never thought of that kind of thing. And then you can try that on your own, or they try out like the way you do things and stuff like that.
Yeah. One example that comes to mind is our water profile.
Mhm.
When we tend to do a collab with someone, they typically haven't seen a water profile like what we've done, especially when it comes to hoppy stuff and
Mhm.
everything. And so we have to kind of explain to them how we got to that.
Yeah.
Whereas on paper, it might look outrageous or ridiculous. And so some people, they say, oh, well, we're here. Maybe we can, start to kind of like, etch up a little bit more and try a little bit more calcium or a little bit more sulfates, all those types of things.
Yeah.
That's probably a prime example for when, we're very deliberate, and we got to a place where for a reason.
Mhm.
And again, what we do works for us.
Yeah.
If I go and brew over, at Capo Brew or whatever, like, it's going to taste not the same. So
yeah, even though it just being on a different system.
yeah,
you can you can do the same exact recipe and it'll still come out different.
yeah. So that makes it fun.
Oh yeah, that's great, brother. And we were just talking about hops a little bit. We were off here. What are some of your favorite hops that you feel like you're seeing right now?
I mean, I still have yet to find a hop that rivals versatility like Mosaic. That's my favorite hop. It just hits everything. The Simcoe, I did hop selection this past year in the fall, and the Simcoe coming out was good. It was very consistent.
Yeah.
The lots that I tried, but they're starting to lean more towards what it used to be, which is a little bit more piney. And we like that
same
aspect. So that's good to see. Trying to think. I mean, there's another one, Nectaron, that we've been incorporating a lot in hops. I think the last time we talked, I was kind of in this weird place where these new hops would come out, and then we would do a small batch and just single hop it, so we understood what it was doing and how it was working in the beer.
Yeah.
And majority of those new hops, in my opinion, like Crush and those things, like some are powerful, some are really, really delicate, but they're mixing hops, in my opinion.
Yeah.
To get that true 100% Nelson or 100% Citra or 100% Mosaic type hop, there still has yet to be something that we try where we're like, oh, I need to mix it. We need to mix that with something. Nectaron's probably the closest one where I think like it does well on its own.
Yeah.
There's a new hop. It was called 1019, but they finally gave it a name called Dulce. I think it's Dulcita.
Oh, Dulcita? Yeah.
That I was really, really stoked on. But again, it's one of those hops that would do well with like a Citra, or we used it with Idaho 7
in
a hazy. It was good. And so like the Dulcita one for me was, I got this really fresh riped strawberry note to it.
Okay.
More like a berry. And I hadn't like a red berry, and I hadn't gotten that on a hop in a while, or ever. And I thought that was a nice touch, and it's had a little bit of like a candy thing to it too. So that's why we think it does well in hazy. We also do, in a lot of our hazies, we'll do like a very tiny amount, because it can super overpower beer. We do a tiny amount of El Dorado, just to get that candy sweetness a little bit in it, so we can make a drier hazy and get the sweetness derived from the hops. So yeah, those are some of the newer hops. Really, the newer thing is like the hop products, what they're manufacturing these hops into. Yeah,
like the extracts and all that stuff.
Yeah, and how you use them, like the water soluble stuff. And there's pluses and minuses to using that stuff. Too much of anything has its detriments on the beer,
for sure.
But I think everything has its place in tinier increments. And so we try to take advantage of all that stuff. I think we finally have found a comfort zone for our West Coast IPA and our hoppy IPA, hoppy pills, where we have a really, really solid, where if we didn't even dry hop the beer, it would be a solid beer. And so that's a very, very good, comfortable place for us to be in, where we're going to make sure that there's a really, really solid base on it. And then, of course, gives us the opportunity to kind of, work with different percentages of a hop blend and throw on top. And then, of course, some of the water soluble stuff is a nice added touch. That seems to like let the beer shine a little bit longer than it normally would. So
that's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like there's always new, like, where was that? I was at Mars Brewing out in Rancho, I don't know, a few months back. And they were just like, they got like these samples, like these hot products. Or it was like, when it was like the little dropper.
Yeah.
And they put one drop in their like really light beer. And it was like, you would have thought you were drinking like a hoppy lager for sure.
Yeah. They're pretty powerful. And then they're making synthetic ones, which are derived from botanicals.
Yeah.
Just plant matter. They know the DNA of the makeup of like the mosaic compounds.
Yeah.
Or the Simcoe compounds, and they derive the hop oil, mixture based on botanicals that have the same type of properties.
Wow.
So it's not an exact one-for-one thing. Sometimes that stuff's really good on like a seltzer or hoppy water sort of thing. But for me, and I'm always, I say this, I bite my tongue when I say this, because you can't be this way owning a brewery, but I'm still a lot old school when it comes to some of the products out there and our utilization of them. Brewing is an old traditional process, and so you can enhance it, but I don't know if you can manipulate it in a way that's outside of its home base. So we try to kind of stay somewhat old school when it comes to that.
Oh, for sure, man.
Yeah.
And I love that. I mean, even talking about, like, I was looking at like the board earlier, because obviously we were talking about different styles. Like ambers, you don't see as often, right? You don't see ambers, you don't see browns, you don't see stuff like that. But even like, you have the name, obviously the pickler, like, and all those, like all the different names. So I was curious, like, about like, have you been coming up with the names, Taryn Co? Or do you guys just all just work together to come up with the beer names?
I've been doing a lot more lately, but we do work together on it. Sometimes, and in full disclosure, sometimes I just will give our art person 3 words, and say, we're busy, go with it. So that's example. That was this amber blueberry that we got on tap. I just said, look, it's an amber lager, and we finally found some blueberry that works well, and it's got fresh blueberry in it. And make something with that. And then he came back with amber blue, and there's a label with it where it's a female hero. So we're also going back to there's a way today that wasn't possible 6 years ago, where we're able to kind of make characters somewhat quicker, or at least give us ideas quicker. And naming is quicker. Whereas that used to take weeks and weeks, not just from an art direction, but just like a concept. So like this one.
I was going to bring up the Outcast. You want to talk about that one?
Yeah. So this one's important on a number of reasons. One, I think that we're also comfortable where we're at making our hazies. And this is an illustration of that, I think. This is years and years and years and years of trying to figure out what works best.
And I love how it says issue number on the side of the can too. That's awesome.
Yeah. So we went back to our original format. And so this kind of gives you some insight into, so the reason I like this one is because this is where I got to nerd out, and I went back to toiling over like figuring out a name, figuring out a concept, figuring out a backstory, and how it relates to the beer, and then like, giving direction on what I kind of wanted it to look like. So I understand that this is an auditory experience, so I will explain as much as possible. But basically, so every beer that we make comes from something. Everything, the idea, the name, all that comes from me. So I'm a big Oasis fan. In the music environment or arena, and so I got to go see them at
awesome.
the Rose Bowl last year, which and again, I'm partial, but best concert I ever saw in my life.
That's awesome.
Sound like nothing happened.
Yeah.
That they've been away for so long. But they have a song called Bring It On Down, And it's a song about, it's kind of a song about kids that people like kind of look at and think that they're not going to make much of themselves.
Yeah.
And being, you know, being an outcast in society. There's a lyric in there, you're the underclass, you're not going to make much of yourself type of a thing. And stuff. And so like, I kind of ran with that song and the lyrics and created this villain, if you want to call it, of a kind of a kid. And so the label says the Outcast, and it's got this kid, he's got a hoodie on and a backpack, and you see the back of him.
Yeah.
He looks like he's like walking in an earthquake.
Yeah.
Down the street with cars and stuff. And so his story is that he's just been in and out of juvie, in and out of different homes, and nobody really gave him any attention. Nobody really put in time with him. And the kid just over the course of just these defeats over and over and over and over again, bottled up so much anger and so much rage that when something happened and he was able to use it, like he can manipulate the seismic plates and everything. And so like he just kind of like zones out and just like creates this havoc. And so there's a line here in the story that I loved, and it says, "The building convulsed, beams buckled, the earth split open. That's when he learned that the world only notices when you shake it."
That's awesome.
So a kid that, you know, has been tossed around and tossed out of society now, you know, wants people to notice him, and that's how he does it. So,
no, that's so cool, man. I love that. I mean, I always love the character origins. Obviously, the going back to the one, you know, about your dad, you know, the lawnmower man and all that stuff. That was still one of my favorite stories I've ever heard on the show.
Yeah, ironically, we did a year end with the team and looked at our beers in the tap room and what sells and what's not, what didn't sell, what's popular, what's not popular. Ironically, seltzers are high on the list. It's pretty crazy. But Buzzman and Lumino, for being light beers and being top sellers in the tap room, is, first of all, it's a brewer's dream because those are beers that you really can't hide behind anything. They're really light.
Yeah.
And so if you fuck it up or you do have some flaws, they're going to show. But also, those are the beers you want to make consistent.
Oh yeah, for sure.
People come in here and our number one seller is Lumino, our Mexican lager, and they come in and they taste it and it doesn't taste like Lumino. Like that's a big problem. I think the price point's good on it. It's a Mexican lager. It's a beer style that's really, really well known in Orange County. And so, so this, for example, the Outcast, what I realized, I wish I realized this a long time ago, is like, I can make a character and it can just be that in that moment.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be, well, how does that play into the lore? How does that play into a long-term thing? Or, you know, all of our IPAs were female heroines forever. And then I'm like, that all has to make sense and everything. And so I've given myself a little bit of grace where I was like, no, it can be in a different timeline. It doesn't have to be in the Unsung timeline. And, you know, it can be what it is for that moment or that beer. And so, you know, I go back to the first thing that I always said about naming beers and our culture and our brand is that you want to relate to your audience. And I think that in superheroes and specifically comics, the identifier is these situations that these characters are in that you can relate to. And so what we're trying to do is bridge that together with the beer. And so now you have some form of an identity, or you read something or you see something, or the picture looks very, very cool and you really enjoy the concept or the thought or the, you know, just the attitude of trying to make something that's something for you to kind of, you know, connect with. And I think that helps not only our brand, but I think it also helps connect with our population and our customer base.
Yeah.
And it's very powerful. It's way more powerful than I anticipated. I just hope people understand that, you know, some of the stuff we come up with, especially on the beer side, but from a naming perspective and everything, is shit. I understand that. But we're really, really, really trying. We're not the smartest people in the world, but we're really, really trying to hit aces on every facet when we come out with the beer. So.
No, and that's one of the things, like you mentioned, like, it being in a different time. That's the multiverse, right? Like, even like, and relating to comic book characters in general. Like, I there's so many villains out there that are just like, they're bad guys, but there's also like usually a tragic backstory to them, and like you know a lot of times people, if they went through something that person went through, they might go bad too.
Yeah. It's a fork in the road thing, right? Everyone
Yeah.
has that in terms of a simplistic way of living. You always are going to come to a fork in the road, and you got
Yep.
two ways to go. And so, a lot of that is like you learn from certain situations or whatever. But the cool thing about comics for me was always like you had some people that went right,
Mhm.
and then it didn't work out so well for them. But
Yeah.
so you kind of were like, oh, it was very, very, a teaching aspect as well of being very, very creative.
Yeah.
So that's at the core what I enjoy about the comic lore and the comic industry.
Mhm.
I think that's what's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, and you can have a character like Superman or Captain America, which are clean cut, the American way and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But then you can have someone like Booster Gold, who's just kind of a prick,
Yeah.
but he still ends up being a hero, but he's still kind of still an asshole.
Super prick. Yeah.
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 And I love that, because you can have like all that stuff, or even like somebody like Swamp Thing, or like Batman for that matter. Batman being like kind of an anti-hero in a way. And Swamp Thing kind of just being like, you're fucking with my earth.
My life, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna come back and get you.
Yeah.
Or,
That's
yeah.
what I always liked about being in Japan too, like the Godzilla. I
Mhm.
enjoyed the Godzilla thing because
Yeah.
it was like we saw a lot of stuff when we were in Japan.
Mhm.
We went to Hiroshima, which
Yeah.
was probably one of the biggest experiences that we had
Wow.
over there. Like we went to the museum and everything, and like they didn't really hold back. It was pretty amazing what this city looks like today.
Mhm.
But I was thinking about it, and I was like, well, Godzilla is essentially, because when you're in
Yeah.
Japan, they deal with earthquakes, typhoons, like all this crazy earth related stuff, and like Godzilla was just kind of created of a natural disaster that just
Mhm.
wreaks insane fucking havoc on a city
Yeah.
and town and its people. And so you see a lot of cool Godzilla memorabilia stuff
I
over
bet.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so like that clicked for me when I was over there. I don't know why it didn't here, where I was like, oh, I get it. So this is a country over years and years and years that have dealt with some of the most horrific
Mm.
earth-related, weather-related things.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, well, maybe it's this giant monster fucking around under the ocean.
Yeah. For sure. Because I know we talked about, you were talking about Oasis. I was curious, is that, or what do you usually listen to if you're on a brew day or anything like that? What are you listening to?
We're kind of all over the board. We have I'm sorry if this offends anyone. I have a no country policy.
Okay.
I just don't think you can brew
I get you.
with country music.
Yeah.
But I have an ongoing playlist called Mash In Music
Okay.
when we brew that I just keep like adding songs to it. It's somewhere in like it's like in the 200s now.
Okay.
But a lot of it's the stuff that I grew up on.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of heavier shit.
Yeah.
And as well as like I still put in there, songs to me is like is similar to beer or like food in a sense where you can
Mhm.
try something, drink something, eat something, or hear something, and for whatever reason in my brain it takes me back to some certain time and place where I remember
Yeah.
hearing that song.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's certain songs I remember exactly what I was doing. I remember the temperature, how it felt. I remember, and so a lot of those songs I kind of threw in there where I want a song that's just gonna like uplift me when I'm brewing. So Mash In Music does that when I'm by myself because I don't want to kill my team with the Oasis thing.
Yeah.
But when I'm by myself or whatever, I'm always playing an Oasis playlist, or we do a lot of like Blink playlists.
Mhm.
A couple of guys on my team are from the emo
Okay.
era, and so they play that stuff, which I was like, what is this at first?
Yeah.
And there's actually some really good songs in there. So
Yeah.
I got transformed a little bit.
Okay.
And then being the older guy, I'm always like, you guys don't know who Led Zeppelin is?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and
That's wild to me.
yeah, they're like, well, I heard one song, it was okay, and I was like, fuck you. That
Yeah.
means we're listening to Led Zeppelin for a week,
Yeah.
and these songs are just gonna come into your
Yeah.
head when
you're going to
not
learn to
thinking.
appreciate it.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
and I get old grandpa like that from time to time.
Mm.
But I think music's important in the brewery because
Yeah.
without it, it can be an awkward silence.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, I get even like nowadays. I was talking to Jasper yesterday, like off air from Bottle Logic, and we were saying, I was like, dude, like when the fuck did Rage Against the Machine become classic rock?
Oh, man.
I'm like, damn, it made me feel old.
Yeah. That's a great band too. That's another one where I'm into guitars too, I think.
Oh, Tom Morello.
Tom Morello is kind of like the Mosaic hop where you just like,
it's
a once in a lifetime hop that comes around and guy that can just change the game for you a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And what he does on there is like, people are like, no, you're not supposed to play like that. You're supposed to play clean and this and that. And he was just like, yeah, no, fuck that.
Yeah.
And that's what's great about it.
Yeah, because he was, obviously Rage and then Audio Slave. He was great in Audio Slave too. Like,
I know. And we're without Chris Cornell.
I know.
That's a hard one for me.
Yeah. No, that's tough, man.
Yeah.
The next segment, this is a newer segment called the 4-pack. So the 4 questions. The first one is, what's one beer that never leaves your fridge because you're always restocking it?
I Banquet.
Okay.
I have a 12-pack of Banquet in there. I never buy a brick. I just buy a 12-pack because my wife likes room in the fridge.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that.
And B, it's just I think it's the last true American beer.
Mm-hmm.
It's made here still.
Yeah.
What Coors does with it is incredible. They have their own, growing process for the grain.
Yeah.
And they have their own malting process. It's a proprietary malt that they get. And that's, again, for being a mass-produced beer, the fact that you can have it anywhere and it's going to taste the same for the most part.
Oh, yeah.
Is another remarkable thing on our scale. But yeah, we like Banquet a lot in our brewery for sure.
Yeah. I love a good Hams.
Hams is awesome.
Yeah.
We do enjoy Hams as well. It's another one that just like consistency is key.
Yeah. It's hard to find too.
It's really hard to find.
Yeah. I can find at Total Wine occasionally they'll have like a 6-pack of like the tall boys.
Yeah.
Or like the 16 ounces. I'm like, yeah, I'll pick that up because it's like $8 or something like that.
Yeah. Another one that's good, and it's hit or miss though sometimes, is I think Mick Ultra doesn't get a lot of praise for what it is.
Yeah. Sometimes you just need something light.
Yeah.
Not have to worry about it.
At its core, it's still a pretty good beer. The problem with that beer I have is that it's so damn light that if it's not kept on a clean line, it can taste horrendous. We were in Phoenix last weekend.
Oh, did you go to Copperfest?
Yeah, we were at Copperfest for the first time. What a great time we had.
Oh, I've never been, but I've heard nothing but great things about it.
You'd love it. It was a great festival.
Okay.
But we were at a bar and Taryn, our head brewer, ordered a Mick Ultra, and he like immediately beeline to me. He's like, taste this.
Yeah.
So I tasted it, and like they clearly took some line that I don't know. I would assume had coconut or something in it.
Oh.
And didn't clean it, and then put a Mick Ultra on, which is probably the worst thing you could do. And the beer just tasted absolutely awful. And so it's one of those beers that like, what I like about some big beer brands, there are some where when they deliver the beer, they actually handle the line and take care of the line.
Yeah.
That's a thing in Europe and everything. And so I wish that Mick Ultra did the same, but apparently not.
Yeah, I guess not.
Yeah.
I went to Wisconsin. I went to go see a Packer game in Green Bay when they played the Bears in December.
Did you go to Beaver?
No, I went to
Beaver State?
No, I went to I recorded 2 breweries. I recorded at Lakefront. Dude, and that was wild to me. It was like 38 years they've been around.
Wow.
That's in this industry, that's
huge.
Unheard of almost, But I recorded there, recorded at Central Waters, Milwaukee. It was really cool. But we got to go, me and my cousin went on the Miller Brewing tour.
Oh, nice.
So I got to have High Life on tap, which I've never had High Life on tap before.
Was it MGD up there?
Yeah, they still sell MGD up there. I was, but you never see MGD here.
Yeah.
You'll see Miller Lite and, that's about it.
Yeah.
But then I tried Hams on tap. I was like, man, it was
solid.
Everything I wanted it to be.
Yeah.
I was so excited about it.
There's a beer up there, because I used to live in Minneapolis. There's a beer that's probably king of the craft beer world called Spotted Cow from
New Glarus. Yeah, I had a couple of them after we went Saturday night, we went and checked in the hotel, and after recording and all that stuff, and then we found just we were like right in the heart of downtown. So we walked up to a bar, got a burger, cheese curds, and I had like 3 or 4 of the New Glarus. Yeah.
So fucking good. I know you always ask me a beer related question in terms of like, desert island beers or whatever, 4-pack and everything. And like, I spoiler alert, if I see that beer anywhere. There's another one. There's another brewery. So like Minnesota, Wisconsin is very like, friendly rivalry type thing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
There's a brewery in Minnesota that made a clone of it called Castle Danger.
Okay.
And I had it, and it was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It was really, really good. It wasn't exactly Spotted Cow, but it was good. And so, like, that beer, Spotted Cow, is the type of cream ale that we grew up, in Ohio having, or, that style tasting. And so we actually tried doing R&D here and making something similar, and it would take us a long time to come up with that beer.
Yeah.
But I love it.
Dude, I love a good cream ale. And again, that's another style you just don't see on menus, but when it's done right, like even ESBs, like I was talking to Harrison from Salty Bear a couple weeks ago, we were talking about ESBs and how like people, like they don't like to they'll change the name, because people see English Special Bitter and they're like, they assume it's going to be a bitter beer and it's not. It's like 4% or 3.8, something like that.
It's a balanced beer if you think about it, right? You're putting so many different highly kiln malts in it to get you some like residual body and sweetness, but still be low alcohol.
Yeah.
And then the bitterness is just trying to meet the sweetness halfway.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a terrible fucking name.
Yeah, it is for sure.
They changed like Scottish ales, like used to be like Shilling 70, 80, 90, and they changed the names of those. And I'm like, it's regardless. England's not changing the name.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not doing that. Next question, the 4-pack is, if you weren't in beer, what would you be doing?
Man, this is a tough question because in a lot of ways, beer saved me.
Yeah.
Because what I realized is, and it's actually a sad story when I think about it, or when I really dive deep into it, but if you're doing anything in life and you're not passionate about
100%, yeah.
You're only going to do so well. And there's this weird, miserable, feeling that comes with that.
Yeah.
Especially if you're just doing something for money. That's another thing that's an issue. And so I feel before I got into beer, I was doing things for the wrong reason.
Yeah.
My career was for the wrong reason. I was doing it for, money, sustenance. The goal was as much money as possible.
Yeah.
Providing, showing your wealth and all those things. And it was passionless. Okay. So when I say beer saved me, it kind of lit a spark that I haven't had in a long time. I think the last time I had something that was somewhat similar to that, I remember I had a job, my first job, freshman year of college. My dad's a big cigar smoker, as we discussed.
Yeah.
And I came home for the summer, and I remember working at the cigar store he went to in downtown Cleveland. And I remember thinking, this is my favorite job.
Yeah.
Like every day we'd get a new box of cigars, and you would order like some of these rare cigars, but maybe the distributor would be able to give you one box or two boxes. And then these people would come in and be like, oh, did you get the Opus X? Or did you get this for Fuente? And you'd be like, well, yeah, we have a couple of them. We held some for you in the sense. So I started building relationships with some of the customers. And then I go home and I talk to my dad. I go, oh, Dad, we got this new cigar. Avo came out with a cigar that's, limited edition rare. And I brought one home for you. And then he would try it and we would talk about it. And I guess like I was passionate about that job, and I enjoyed seeing different walks of life come in and making friendships that way and everything. The passion behind the beer stuff is that it's, for me, it's kind of like, it's kind of like an explorer where I can't consume enough. I can't consume enough information. I need to learn more about it. And I can only imagine if you think about an explorer back in the day where they were like, some assholes think this place is flat. Some people think it's round. Some think that there's land. Some people don't think there's land. And, I would imagine a number of things, but for the actual explorer, the driving force was answering questions and a thirst for knowledge and all that kind of stuff. And I think that's the passion and you don't get into this industry to make a lot of money unless
you do it because you love it.
Unless you're trying to sell or you're building to be big enough to sell or whatever. You do it because it's it's an ever changing and evolving industry that if you're not trying to learn and keep up, that you'll fall behind. And I was worried about that because sometimes you can get into it and there's outside forces that can dampen your passion. But to be honest with you, stuff like this, doing the podcast, and I don't do enough stopping and thinking and reflecting. And when I get to talk to you once a year, and that's kind of what I was saying, like, it gets me ready for the year.
Yeah.
Because I can reflect on certain things. You know, we're going to be 10 this year.
That's awesome.
And I remember when we first signed the lease, I remember saying something along the lines of, well, when we fail in year 6 or 7, you know, that's a good run.
Yeah.
Or I remember being like, you know, we don't want to fail, but if that happens, you know, we've got things in place for you know, that to you know, balance or to try and get us out of bad situations. I don't know, without trying to be coy.
No, I gotcha.
And so to be able to say we've been around for 10 years, I think that this is, I'm not trying to pull a card when I say this, but I've talked about this before, but any industry that's gone through COVID has, and especially in a service industry or manufacturing type of an industry, is really built steel tough.
Yeah.
There's not a book I can read that's gonna get me
to give you
that
those lessons or anything like that. Yeah.
Nothing. You just have to do it. It's like grieving, right? A friend of ours just lost their pet, and it's one of the worst experiences in the world.
Yeah.
But like, there's no way around that.
Yeah.
You have to go through the walls. They're going to be there if you keep avoiding them, and until you go through those experiences, you're never going to come out on the other side.
1000%, man.
And so I think that you know, mitigating or managing the pandemic took a lot out of us. It felt like a 4-year thing when it was really like, you know, not more than 1.5 years, 2 years in terms of like dealing with stoppage and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm proud of that. I'm proud of who we are. I'm proud of what we're looking forward to in terms of what does this next chapter look like. I'm assuming it's going to be ever changing. I'm assuming, I know it's going to be different as well, but different doesn't have to be bad. Different can be good. Different can be based on all the years of knowledge that you've learned.
Yep.
Which is what I'm starting to kind of get my brain to say. So,
oh man, I agree with you like wholeheartedly. Even like talking about like, you know, how like somewhat like I feel like there's a stigma just like in the country when it comes to just people just being okay with being unhappy, and I fucking hate it. Like it's like when someone, you know, they get off work, they call you or they're talking to you or whatever, and they're complaining about their job for an hour. It's like, dude, like there's other stuff you can do. There's other stuff you can find to supplement your happiness, to make you happier. Find a hobby. Find something else you love. Like I've been in the insurance industry for 19 years this year.
Wow.
And I like
tried and true.
Yeah, it took 14 years for me to find something I truly love. Like I didn't realize how much, like I used to coach the kids for the YMCA way back when, and I loved coaching, but I didn't realize like that was something that was still there. Now that I'm a trainer and I get to go around the country and train people on how to better understand product. Like anytime anybody asks me like what I do, like, have you seen Along Came Polly? When they like he punches in all this stuff in the computer, like and assess risk or investigates. So it's like, but I love doing that. Like, and I love to teach people. You get to see that light bulb moment, and like, you know,
that in itself is an amazing experience that you get.
Yeah,
you know, there's like a gratefulness of having a job where you're able to travel and see other areas, and then you're doing this thing with the podcast where you're like, you know, I would have the advantage of trying these beers in these other states and connecting with people, and that you're really good at connecting with people, and I think that's and bringing people together. I think that's something that you don't really, you know, in a humble way, don't tell people or push out there, especially on the podcast. But we've met lots of people through you. Everyone I come across that has done work with you has said the same thing. Back to your point real quick. There's a video quote from Noel Gallagher in Oasis, and it just kind of put my mind at the right perspective.
Yeah.
and is, what I like about the band is they don't give a fuck and they have an attitude. And
Yeah.
even though his quote was based on, a few years back when they were like, would you ever get back with Oasis or something?
Mm-hmm.
But the point still matters. And he says in this video, he goes, why would you ever be unhappy in anything in life?
Yeah.
He's like, you got one shot
Mm-hmm.
on this merry-go-round.
Yep.
Why be unhappy?
Yeah.
You have the choice to be, and I'm not saying that I'm going to be unhappy or be happy because of this quote the rest of my life, but it gives me a thought to stop
Mm-hmm.
and go, all right, cut the shit, Mike.
Yeah.
You have a choice here. Let's try. And I can bitch and moan today.
Mm-hmm.
I know I can. I'm the best at it. I bitch and moan a lot. And a lot of it's just getting this energy off of me. But I'll think about that quote and I'll go, why am I choosing to be unhappy right
Mhm.
now?
Yeah.
No reason for it.
Yeah. And that's the thing. We all have our days too. Cause that's like, we can vent. We can do those things. We need to get things off our chest. I mean, I feel like with dudes, I feel like there's there's also that stigma with dudes where it's like we feel like, oh, we can't express ourselves because we're guys, right? Kind of thing. But
Well, fuck, man. I'll be 48 this year, so I'm getting older, and I'm at that point where things feel different waking up.
Yeah.
My balance is a little bit
Mm-hmm.
weirder, and like, going to the gym isn't what I was going to the gym 10 years ago and everything. And so
Yeah.
that's another one for me where I'm like, motherfucker, I was dealing with a shoulder injury and I couldn't do a lot of things like upper body, and
Yeah.
I had to let it heal,
Mm-hmm.
and that sucked. But, I'm grateful that I'm back and I'm doing things that I can do, and I'm trying to stay healthy. So,
Yeah.
that's another one that, like, they tell you when you're old, when they tell you this when you're young, like, well, you'll see when you get older,
Yeah.
but you're young. You don't give a shit. You're like, yeah, I'm not,
You feel like you're immortal anyway.
I'm not worrying about that.
Yeah.
Well, fuck, man. Boy, does it hit you
Yeah.
really hard. And so, I think that's one of them for me.
Yeah. I feel you, man. Got a couple more questions
Go
in the
for it.
4-pack. You get to collab with any brewery in the world. Who is it and what would you make?
Boy.
I know it's a loaded question.
Jeez, it would probably be a giant brewery,
Okay.
excuse me. We go to Denver. We always stop at Coors,
Yeah.
and it's massive,
Mm-hmm.
and
That's one tour I want to take so bad.
I want to know how it all works.
Yeah.
And I don't want to know the tour stuff. I want to know
Mhm.
the little things, and like
Yeah.
we built this because we were having this problem and this,
Mhm.
all that stuff. So it would probably be a mass brewery. Honestly, coming back from Japan, I would love to see the rice lager process.
Oh, yeah.
There's rice out there that we can't get. And like, for example, this is a good story. When I was in Taiwan,
Yeah.
Taiwan Brewing has these two beers.
Yeah.
One of them is in this green and like white can. As a matter of fact, you can get it here in some of like the
Okay.
Asian marketplaces. And the beer's fine. It's okay.
Yeah.
But they also make another beer called 18 Day.
Okay.
And it's also a rice lager, and it comes in the bombers, and only certain places get it. Typically restaurants.
Mm.
We didn't really see it at bars or whatever, but the greatest beer I've ever had in my life.
Wow.
And it's called 18 Day because here's the concept, right? The brewery has said, we will give you 18 Day. Now they probably do something where like you got to buy a bunch of the green label beer too if you want 18 Day.
Yeah.
But the 18 Day beer is basically like if they have 18 Day, the restaurant, and it's past 18 days on the date of the bottle,
Yeah.
they put it in like this milk crate.
Oh.
Distributor comes back, replaces it with a new 18 Day.
Wow.
They don't want anyone drinking that beer unless it was within 18 days of bottling.
Wow. That's cool.
And so this is Taiwan.
Yeah.
The entire country gets this beer. It's an island, but it's still. And so when I think about how they're able to do that and keep it consistent.
Yeah.
And if you're a restaurant and I'm saying, I'm going to give you 18 Day and you have there's no loss for you.
Yeah.
We're going to replace that bottle that's past 18 Day.
Yeah.
Like it's a no brainer. And I was like, that would never work here.
Mhm.
It would be such a huge animal to
Yeah.
manage.
Oh, for sure.
You know, that's like where Stone did the
The enjoy buys? Yeah.
which is a great idea and a good concept. But at the same token, like, are you buying a beer that's past that date on
Yeah.
the shelf, right?
Mhm.
So there's that. So they can control that by you're never seeing anything past that date because we're just
Yeah.
going to come in and swap it out.
Wow. Yeah.
It was delicious.
That's awesome.
It didn't get any better than that. We were at dinner. I think we had 14 we had a bunch of people with us, but it was
Yeah.
like 15 bottles or so.
Okay. I was going to say, dang, I thought you were just saying you had 14 or 15.
I mean, I get why someone would do it though. It's so,
Yeah.
It was so good.
Oh, man. I will have to try that one day.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
But
next,
I would
go
say
ahead.
a big brewery, yeah, somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with that. Next one is what's a guilty pleasure you secretly or not so secretly love?
Gaming, video
Okay.
games.
Yeah. Can't go wrong with it.
I mean, yeah, it's so different today than it was.
Yeah.
And like, I'm getting my ass kicked by like 8 and 10-year-olds and stuff. But
Yeah. What are you playing? Like Call of Duty or something? Or what are you playing?
yeah, I was playing Helldivers for a while, and now I'm on this new one called Arc Raiders, which is
Oh, I've heard of it. Yeah.
it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's great. Yeah, it's going to be one of those games where you're going to be playing it for like 10 years.
Okay.
They'll just the developers just keep putting more and more shit into it. But anyways,
Yeah.
you know, my wife and I are going to turn a 20-year anniversaries this
Oh,
year.
congrats, man.
Thank you. And so it probably took 15 years for my wife to get the fact that video games was somewhat good for my mental health.
Yeah.
Not because she didn't want to know about it or anything like that, but like, you know, I think that what's nice about video games is similar to like the comic books when I was growing up was like I could, whatever I was going through, I can transport myself and not think about it for
Yeah, you can
whatever.
fully immerse yourself within that, whether it's the world that you're in with the comics or it's a video game or anything like that.
Right. It stops my brain from going, did you think of this? Did you think of that? What about this? What about that? I'm doing something that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's a video game. You die or whatever. It's fine. But,
Yeah.
And I can be somewhat competitive. So I think that's cool, whatever. I think that's a guilty pleasure. Now it's guilty because I finally have a decent setup where
Okay.
I can have a treadmill.
There you go.
I'm not just sitting there on my fat ass for 6 days,
Yeah.
6 hours. But that's probably my guilty pleasure.
Okay. Love it.
Yeah.
Think we'll try that Amber Blue?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, we're back. So I have the Outcast and I also have the Amber Blue. The Outcast, I just tried it. Delicious.
Thank you.
I'll try the Amber Blue in a sec. I wanted to ask you about, obviously, because last year we talked about it a little bit too, just kind of the state of the industry. And we were talking off air earlier about how dry January can usually be obviously really rough on breweries, but you were saying that it's kind of, this year wasn't as bad, right?
No, we haven't seen it. We haven't seen a change
Yeah.
as we normally have.
Mm-hmm.
I think, you know, that there, you know, and it's weird too, because I think a lot of people, you know, they typically spend money during Christmas time.
Yeah.
And then they also are like, hey, it's a good month to hold back.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good month to not go out and everything. But I think that there was a lot of excitement for people coming into a brand new year that they hadn't seen in a while.
Yeah.
You know, I think that there's also a little bit of economic uncertainty. And so I think that, maybe it's not a good pharmaceutical substitute, but sometimes alcohol is also used in stressful
times, for sure.
I don't know, but I wish I could put my finger on it. I don't know. You know, we're still selling decent amount of beer to Disney. I know that I think that the tourism we've seen, you know, hasn't been as robust as it has in previous years.
Okay.
But yeah, no, we haven't seen anything with the dry January in terms of a blip.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah, for us. Now that could be different in, you know, over in Whittier.
Yeah,
something.
depending on the brewery.
Yeah.
Next one. So we had the 4-pack. Now this one's a 6-pack. These are rapid fire questions.
Yeah.
So you have lager or IPA?
Fucking lager. Shit.
Okay. Hazy or West Coast?
West Coast.
Okay. Music or sports at a brewery?
Music.
Okay. Favorite brewery, obviously outside of Unsung?
Okay, so with this question, I would think if I see this brewery on tap, I'm always getting it type of answer. That would probably be Chuckanut out of Portland. If I see them anywhere, I'm always getting it. Whatever, I don't care what it is. Too.
Yeah,
it could be a Krasinski. I'm drinking it.
Okay, love it. Favorite drunk food?
Ramen.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Some spicy ramen?
Big bowl of nudes.
Okay.
Spicy ramen, yeah.
Love it. Last one. If your personality was a beer style, what would it be?
Probably, I'll do a newer style. Probably the hoppy pills.
Okay.
And I'll say that because I think when it's done right, I think it's unassuming.
Oh,
I think I come off unassuming, and I'm okay with that. I'm not a loud person. I'm not someone that's seeking attention or look at me. And so you see it and you're like, oh, this is a light beer, and then you try it and it's like it's actually got some punch to it, and it can hit all the notes when you want it to.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's probably me in a nutshell. I don't know.
Okay. Love it.
Thanks. Yeah.
There it is. Okay. Next question is: you can have one pint with any historical figure, sports athlete, or maybe a celebrity ever. Like, who would you want to have a beer with?
Man, that is such a good question and such a tough fucking question.
Yeah. Well, you can. Actually, when I was talking to Jasper, he was like, I mean, I can't choose. He was like, what if you pick one of each, like a historical figure, a sport, an athlete, or and a celebrity?
Fuck.
I know it's a loaded question.
I think Patton, maybe from historical.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's something interesting about the mind when it comes about like war and everything, I think. Celebrity, I would say Jimi Hendrix.
Okay.
I'd love to. I don't know how our brain does that.
Yeah.
I think he would be a cool person to sit down with. And then sports figure. You know what? I'll go in your neck of the woods.
Okay. Was it?
I'm trying to remember.
Was it a
Green Bay coach? Sorry.
Oh, Lombardi?
Yeah, it would be Lombardi.
Okay.
That's another brilliant mind. I think it would be cool to sit down and chat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Just like hearing his, like, I feel like, what's the right word? Like his motivation kind of thing, and like what like makes him tick. I feel like that would be like, because the greatest coach of all time, right?
Yeah.
Like, to be able to.
And doing it in a time when things are so different.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, winning, before they called them Super Bowls, they called them World Championships, and him winning as many as he did, it's just wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And who knows if I'd like to think that if he was around today, it would still translate. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know the answer to that, but yeah.
Yeah, for sure,
great
man.
to talk to.
Next one's not going to get any easier. It's your Mount Rushmore breweries.
Yeah, oh boy.
Yeah.
Right. I guess you got to put Coors up there.
Oh, yeah.
Man. Probably because I was just in Japan. I think Asahi was king, man. I never saw so many people that love that beer. Actually, what's funny about that beer, real quick side note, they have like an Asahi machine.
Oh, really?
These bars. Yeah, because they're so, well, that's the other thing I just talked about, but they put the glass in, they just hit a button and it tilts. So it gets the perfect amount of head on it. A lot of places had that machine. And I was like, well, that takes the guessing game out of everything, right?
Yeah.
I would say Asahi. And then I would say Sierra Nevada.
Okay.
For what they've done. Tenants. I fell in love with Tenants when I was in Scotland, and that's another beer where your homeland and you drink that, and there's a it's delicious beer too. Where the beer is actually a part of your life and your culture. I like that.
Yeah, love it, man.
That's where I'd throw in there. It's 4, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you got it. Oh, next one is if you could bring something back from when you were a kid that's not around anymore, what would it be?
I mean, I was a big G.I. Joe fan when I was a kid. I remember, I don't even know if they're around anymore. I remember the Toys R Us.
Oh, yeah.
I loved a giant toy store where you could just kind of chill for hours.
It was the best.
But in terms of like a thing, man, I enjoyed, what do you think?
That's very good.
Okay.
And I like, because you get that, obviously there's blueberry. You get a lot of blueberry. I always say, like, if you're going to say blueberries in something or like a specific fruits in it, you better be able to taste it. Because I hate when it's like kind of hidden back there and you have to try to go find it.
Yeah.
But this is really good. It's prominent and it's good.
Thanks. Yeah. And I think that what I like about that beer is that we made a great base and we were like, well, fuck, we're going to put blueberry into this. And but the base was solid. And I was like, it was one of those things where we're like, stick to the plan, because we almost deviated and said, I think this beer is great on its own.
Yeah.
And we were like, no, let's stick to our roadmap. And so we found blueberry that actually works with us, that with our beers that we work in. And I think that, and so what's nice about that beer is there's a brewery back home called Fatheads. They win medals all the time in Cleveland. And they have a beer called Bumbleberry. And this is kind of a rip off of that.
Okay.
It's an amber ale with blueberries. But when you order it, the bartenders throw a bunch of blueberries in it.
Oh, okay.
And so because of the carbonation, you see the blueberries going up and down
Yeah.
and they dance. And so I was trying to recreate something that was similar to that. And I think we did a pretty damn good job with it.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah. And it's not, what's the word I'm trying to look for? It's not like fruity. It's
it's not like it's like overpowering or anything like that. I feel like it's perfectly balanced.
Yeah, and you can see through the beer; it's still an amber. So
yeah.
I'm sorry. What was the original question?
Oh, if you could bring something back when you were a kid.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why this sounds pretty corny or whatever. I like the Light Bright.
Dude, yeah, dude, I love that. I played with Light Bright as a kid.
I can't tell you why.
Yeah,
but I was gonna say like Etch a Sketch or Simon Says, but those things are still around. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, even I bought like when I was like I think it was maybe 4 or 5 years ago at Target, they had like this little mini Light Bright.
Oh, cool!
And I bought one. It's on my desk. yeah.
It's
just putting the little designs together.
Brings you back to a fun time.
Oh yeah, for sure. You know what this is reminding me of, and I mean this in the absolute best way possible because I loved them as a kid. Was the Eggo blueberry waffles.
Oh, wow, dude. That's cool.
Yeah.
I take that as a compliment, actually.
Yeah. That's what it's reminding me of that. Like kind of obviously you get that weediness a little bit. Yeah. And then you get the blueberries. That's kind of what I'm getting. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
You know what? That's a good description. I like that now. I'm going to steal that.
There it is. Yeah. Go for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
We've had a really good response with it. And I've been encouraging people like to make sure you put some blueberries in it because every once in a while you'll take a sip and then all of a sudden you get a blueberry and it kind of adds to the enhancement of it.
Of course.
Yeah. I was stoked on that.
Yeah. Love it. Last two things. So first one is, who do you got winning the Super Bowl?
Well, so we're early, right?
Yeah,
so
we're still.
I don't know.
This will be out next week.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna really look like an asshole, but I'm gonna.
You're good
because if they don't make it, then
it's all
you'll
good.
know how my gambling went today.
Yeah.
If I had to put money on it, which I am gonna put money on it, I would say that it's gonna end up being New England Rams.
Yeah.
Now, I think the NFL would rather go the other way. I understand why. And I wouldn't be, I'm happy with all 4 teams for once.
Yeah.
You know, I think they got the right 4 teams, unfortunately, or fortunately, however you want to look at it. I did like the Bills this year, but they just don't have enough.
Yeah. They don't have enough weapons for sure.
But so then if you're looking at it, New England and Rams, there was 2 or 3 games I saw this year, late in the year that the Rams played, and they were so fast and so unstoppable.
Yeah.
And so explosive. And I just think that no matter what defense you have to kind of manage that for 4 straight quarters is a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give it to the Rams.
Yeah.
I just think that on paper they have the juice. You know?
I feel you.
Now, would I be shocked if Seattle wins today? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
And I love underdog stories, and I think Sam Darnold's been through the mill his entire career. And so I'd want nothing more than him. I think as much as people hate the Patriots, what they've done in 2-3 years.
Yeah, it's wild.
To get to this stage.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Yeah. And like Vrabel's first year.
Year. Yeah.
Wild. But I mean, he's a great coach.
Great coach. So that's incredible. And then of course, Denver's been like a Cinderella type story this year.
Yeah.
And they've, been in games that barely won, but I think that's kind of added to their grittiness, toughness. They got a backup quarterback. I don't know what's going to happen with that. I tend to believe that the Patriots are going to blitz and play man to man.
Oh yeah,
and just make his life hell. But hey man, sometimes the refs call this shit too. So
yeah, definitely. All right, last. I think I'm with you. I think it's Rams Patriots. Yeah. Like I was leaning Seattle just because of the defense, but like you said, with the offense that the Rams have, like with those weapons, and the thing with the Rams this year, even though I'm a Packer fan, you watch a ton of Rams games being out in the LA area, but it's like they're like, I felt like, like you said, there was games where they played a complete game and they looked unstoppable, but then there's other times where they just looked complacent and kind of depending on what they were. But if they play a complete game today, I think that they could win fairly easily, at least by like a maybe touchdown, maybe 10 points or something.
Yeah, and a lot of people are saying like the last week game in Chicago was like the Rams didn't look that good. And they were playing safe. Both teams were playing super safe.
It was freezing out there too.
Yeah. So I think McVay was just trying to control the game and tempo. And this game, he's just going to say, fuck that. Like, let it out. So that's my thoughts. But I'm not a millionaire from gambling, so
Same.
I could be wrong. So
no, I got you. Last question is, if you had to describe yourself in one word, what would it be? I know it's another tough one. Bringing the tough questions nowadays.
I guess I would say I can be extremely tenacious at in some aspects of things.
Okay.
Whether it's solving a problem we're having in the brewery, whether it's achieving something, a goal.
Yeah. You're a go-getter for sure.
I try. Yeah. I mean, the thoughts always hit me, and I think that this adds to my tenacity, but the thoughts always do hit me of like, oh, you're not good enough, or you're not going to be good enough, or why are you trying? Or, everyone has head trash like that and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And so I do too. But then I think like you wake up, it's a grieving process. It's like, you didn't win anything, or you didn't do well. And you go through this process, and then you wake up one morning and you're like, okay, let's go back at it and swing the bat and stuff. And so I think one of the best parts of living this life is being self-reflective and looking in the mirror and saying, here's what happened. I did this last time, and I can't change what everyone else is doing, but here's what I'm going to do different.
Yeah.
That's life.
Oh, yeah.
And so I would say tenacity. I want to do better than I was yesterday.
100%, man.
And sometimes you don't do that, but by not doing that, it kind of adds to your hunger to be better and different. So,
oh yeah, man. I've always, I don't know if I really ever talk about this on the show, but like I've always felt like I thrive when someone says I can't do something, or when like, oh, I don't know if you're going to be good at this, or like even as a kid, like I had like a great team that I coached for the Y. We won the championship. Then everybody aged out.
Oh.
So I had a brand new team the next year. And I was like, and I remember one of my little brothers was just like, yeah, I don't think you're like, this team doesn't look all that great this year, John. Like, Mike. I was like, all right, asshole. We'll see. We'll see about that. And we won. We won 2 in a row. Two more after that. But like,
that's to me, that's pinnacle. That's what this world's about. And I think, we talk about the fork in the road or whatever, and like you could have went right instead of left and stuff.
Yeah.
And in that scenario, and that's a good illustration of that.
Yeah. I mean, and to me, it's like, if you're not willing to like we talked about the beer thing, like how it was just like, it's never good enough. Like, it's the same thing for the show. Like, I'm always trying, like, we've had three different episodes now. They've been 3
very
completely different episodes. From episode 1 to me still trying to learn how to do this and do it by myself, and and be able to have you on. That's why I'm always super grateful, and to you essentially giving me your episode 1 and then episode 52 and so on.
The reason I don't do a lot of these things is because I think it gets repetitive.
Yeah.
And I say the same things over and over again. The difference with your podcast is that, like, not only do we have a history, but I feel like every time we do an episode, it's like a different chapter on top of the previous one.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's kind of cool. And you created that, which is awesome too. But I don't like to do a lot of podcasts because I feel like they're not as creative, where I'm just like, you could listen to XYZ podcast that I did and it's going to be the same thing. So I mean, and your questions are always I'm pretty quick on my feet, but some of these really, really, really made me think. So thank you for that.
No, I'm glad, brother. But no, thank you for letting me come down, and thank you for giving me my start, bro.
Oh, well, I think it's a testament that you're still at it and you're still doing this. And I listen to your podcast a lot, and I think that it's a good thing to kind of get perspective on, because every brewery's got a different home base and they got a different model.
Yeah.
And excuse me, we're in Anaheim, and Anaheim is, for all intents and purposes, a thriving blue collar environment.
Yeah.
And so, a brewery that's in Huntington Beach, not super far from here, is going to have a totally different customer base that's into certain different styles and everything. And that's kind of what, one of the eye-opening things for me was, the beers that sell in our tap room. And we didn't talk too much about this, but we're doing a lot more seltzers than we thought we were going to do. And so we kind of leaned into that. And I think I think it's Lumino are sours, and then seltzers are third. And then Hazy West Coast is like kind of tied at fourth in terms of volume in the tap room.
Okay.
And so, a lot of that's indicative on the time. A lot of them are lower ABV stuff. We've talked about this. For some reason people think seltzers are healthier. I don't understand that.
Yeah.
But that's where we're at.
Yeah. Wait, did I say it was the fourth? No, this is the fourth time now, isn't it? So it was episode 1, and then it was episode 52, then it was 104, and now 150. Yeah, so this is the fourth time.
Yeah, the second one was with Jimmy.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's what we did with Jimmy. I remember, yeah. And then last year was just the two of us, and then this year again, yeah.
Jimmy, the hardest working man in the craft brewing industry by far.
Yeah, and he's back now he's over at Asylum, right?
He's doing there, and he's working Monkey King.
Jeez,
which is a Leonard Chan place over in Toronto.
Yeah. Okay.
Which I just found that out last week. I don't know. I texted him about something. I think we needed yeast or something. I texted him and I'm like, "What are you doing over there?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm brewing at both spots." I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah. I know. I gotta text him. I haven't talked to him in so long. It's been forever. But yeah, I gotta get in touch with him.
Have you talked to Jared in a while?
Last time was me and Jared were messaging each other on Instagram recently, or maybe in the last couple months. But yeah, it's been a bit.
Okay. Yeah. I got to hang out with him and Danny Gaskets over GABF.
Okay.
Jared's old boss passed away this past year.
Oh man, I didn't know that.
He was the owner of Tustin Brewing Company.
Yeah.
His name was Jason Gerald. And when I worked there, I saw him occasionally.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get to, know him very well or whatever, but next to Patrick Rue, Tustin Brewing Company and the brewery are and the bootleggers are the older
statesmen. Geez, yeah.
And he was a pioneer in our industry and everything. Mm-hmm. And so I just wanted to give a shout out to, he's got a family and everything. And I know Jared, you should talk to me. I know Jared took it really hard. I know Danny took it really hard as well.
You have to reach out.
Yeah. But if you do get a chance, Tustin Brewing's making great beer. Danny Gaskets.
I love Danny. He's great.
Danny's funny.
Yeah, he's fucking hilarious. Yeah, he introduced when I recorded with him, it was maybe a year and a half ago. He introduced me to Dario, and Jared introduced me to Danny, and then Danny introduced me to Dario. So it's like, I love this industry, man. So great.
Yeah, there's some good people. And then, I don't know, I'd like to give a shout out to Andrew Moy.
Yeah.
He is back in the industry.
Okay.
He's over in Long Beach. What's the name of the brewery?
I'm trying to think of the ones along. We got Beer Lab. We got Ambitious is out there. Obviously, Ism's out there. What else? I'm trying to think.
I hope you edit this good.
Yeah. No, you're good.
Fuck. I'm not going to remember the name.
That's okay.
But he's back in the industry, and I'm really, really stoked to see him back brewing. So
yeah. No worries. I'll put a timestamp on there. All right.
Or if you find out the name, you can say it.
Oh, yeah. I can throw it in there in the outro or something. But man, thank you again.
Thank you. I appreciate this. Where are you going to watch the game?
So I'm actually going to meet up with my brother. I'm going to go down to Synth.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to hit up Synth, probably walk down to Salty Bear if Harrison's there, have a beer there, and then maybe one across the way at where the Parrots are.
I might run into you, dude, because a couple of my friends are going to they want to watch the Seattle game on that street somewhere. So I'll probably run into you. Yeah. I'll hit you up. I'll text you.
Sounds good, brother. Thank you again, man.
Thank you so much.
Cheers, bro.
Cheers.
All right, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed that. It was such a blast for me. And like I said, Mike just means the world to me, man. Like they're friends in this industry. And like, it was funny because when I first got there to record, and I was like, man, I haven't seen you in a year, but it feels like, and then we just started talking, like chopping it up, like we had seen each other yesterday. And I told him, I was like, man, he's like, I love that. I mean, and I've made some such great friends within this industry, like just doing this, and like lifelong friends, like Luis, like you guys like a brother to me. And like there's, Dario and Danny, Danny Gaskets and Jared. And like anytime we see each other, even Dez, from the Buds, Brews and Booze, being able to like make friendships like that. Because sometimes like later on in life, you don't really know if you're going to be able to like, continue to make friends and stuff like that. But I've just met some really, really kick-ass people. And that's what this industry is made of, right? We always say 95% of the industry is fantastic. Every family has a few bad apples. So, yeah, like I said, I'm just grateful. I'm grateful to everyone out there. Grateful that I've been doing this for 3 years, even though I almost told myself I wasn't going to do it after everyone left at Taps and Tailgates and stuff. So just be good to one another. There's a lot of shit going on in the world. Just be good to one another. That's all I can say. Yeah. And hopefully, like, if you're going through some stuff or you're feeling a certain way, hopefully this makes you take your mind off of it for a little while. So, all right. Well, it's the Royal Rumble today, baby. I don't know. It's almost 9 o'clock. I'm recording this late. Oh, not late, early. Because then it starts at 11. I had to go make some breakfast sandwiches. I'm going to make some monsters. Doing a sauce, like a smashed sausage patty. A little hash brown in there. A little hash brown action. A little bit I'm going to do a little grilled Spam, maybe. Just a little sliver. Some cheese. Maybe a little bacon on top. And I made some jalapeno ketchup. Ooh. Twinkle, twinkle, baby. All right. I'm going to shut up now. Next week's episode. Yeah, I said I was going to shut up and then I continue to talk. Next week's episode is with my boy Jasper from Bottle Logic. Super stoked for you guys to hear that. And then also this past Thursday, I recorded with the Hop and We're Drinking podcast with my buddies Nick and Joe. That was a fantastic time. We had a cool time there. I've got some other stuff coming on. Okay, I've said Homeland, and then I'll be recording it. I'm not going to tell that one. I'll say what that is yet. But you guys will be hearing about it pretty soon. All right. Well, I hope you guys have a great week. Hopefully you watch the Royal Rumble because technically this comes out tomorrow. So we're going back in time. Yeah, that's all I got. All right, guys. Have a great week. Have a great Sunday. Enjoy the Super Bowl next week. I guess the other one will be out before the game. So that's why I'm not making my pick, but we'll see. Yeah, all right. Well, don't forget to support local. Drink local, and find your beer. Cheers. That one was for Al. Cheers.